so good to have you back, Stephen. Wise So there once was a thief, a very successful thief, who used to hang around the diamond district to see who was purchasing the gems so that he could pocket them. One day, a well-known diamond merchant bought the largest, most beautiful stone, and the thief followed him on a train. Numerous times during that 3-day journey, the thief tried to pick the merchant's pocket to obtain this valuable diamond. Yet, at the end of the journey, he hadn't been able to get this precious, rare jewel. Frustrated, he was really frustrated. He finally confronted the merchant and confessed, "I've used all of my skills. How did you hide it from me?" "Well," said the merchant, "I saw you watching when I purchased the stone in the diamond district and suspected your intention. So I hid the stone, the diamond, in a place you would be least likely to look, your own pocket." You are brilliant and magnificent, each and every person here. You are truly a rare gemstone, a diamond, as Marianne so perfectly put. I thought, perfect. Thank you, Spirit. A diamond, sparkling, always. So rather than just remind you to look within, which is our job here, I really want to get into, this whole month has been in living a joyful life. That's what the whole month has been about, and it's been a fabulous month. I mean, last week, Denny and I, we rocked it, didn't we, Denny? We did a skit that was just phenomenal. Wasn't it not? Those who were here. Well, we don't have a skit today, but my life is a skit. Okay. Anyway, I want to remind all of us, including myself, that this gem is in our hearts. It's in my heart. It's in the very core of each and every person's being. It is the spark of divinity within each and every person. This is not our Rumi quote, because we've been using a Rumi quote every day, every Sunday. But this is not one, but it fits in so beautifully here. I want to share it with you. Blessed is anyone who really knows who they are and builds a place to live there. Amen. Yeah? Blessed is anyone who really knows who they are and builds a place to live there. Glorious. Our theme for this month, as I said, is all about building a solid foundation of who we are so that we can start really loving life right where we are. Specifically, our theme is falling in love with life. So far this month, this is a recap. So the other 3 weeks, we have focused on recognizing the importance and grace and the beauty in every single moment. Let's do that right now. There may be turmoil, we talked about that. There may be turmoil and chaos and strife and uncertainty and upset and even heartache in your life right now. But just for this moment, let's find some grace. Let's go and turn within to that indwelling source of limitless potentiality, of beauty that is within each and every one of us that we have so covered up sometimes, we don't even know. We don't even recognize this divine gem is in there, each and every one of us. That was what that talk was about. In the chaos and the confusion and all of the challenges of everyday life, be that center of peace at the same time. Remember, it's there. It is our true reality. It is our source of what we are connected to, which is so much greater than we could ever conceive. And the next week, we looked at the idea that we have an internal life that is in balance. We have a greater ability to love life when that when we turn within and we recognize everything out here might not seem like it's in balance, but within us there is a balance that is beyond our comprehension. It is peace itself. And we have an internal life always expressing itself, waiting for us to recognize it. And then we talked about if you remember, those who were here, the triangle. We talked about the triangle. And the top part was our inner wisdom, intuition, divine intelligence. One of the corners was our compassion, our love for self and others. And on the other side was our will, our personal power, our empowerment, our knowing what that power really means, how we, through the laws of cause and effect, live our lives, whether we are aware of it or not. And to hold everything together, if you remember, was gratitude. Gratitude and appreciation holds it all together. So, let's take a breath together. Just breathe in the energy of the room, the energy of this. Oh my God, this room is so alive with energy. I have to contain myself. And last week, which is no easy task, let me tell you, I'm in here. Last week we looked at releasing some of our internal barriers that can prevent us from downloading a life that we love to live. And so today we're going to revisit in a different way one of those points. And it is the point of connecting with our wisdom, our intuition, and our divine intelligence. And that leads to our final Rumi quote, which is this. I love this. Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. Yep. One consciousness at a time. Yes? One consciousness at a time. We all want to change the world, don't we? There are certain things. It seems like there's a lot that really needs to be changed. And it's really easy to get caught up in all of the drama and chaos that's going on all around us. The insanity of this presidential election. It is insane, I must say that. Yes. I always talk about we live in a mental asylum, but this really honed it right back home to me. This is like, okay then. They let the inmates, okay. I'm gonna go back home quick. And then we go into like all of the if you watch the news then you're watching it constantly, some people, the terrorist attacks, the school shootings, the growing strength in ISIS and the human rights violations at home and abroad, to major challenges in our food, our water, the air we breathe. It's all of it. So we have to take that breath, turn within. Those are the outer things we'd like to change. So we can feel overwhelmed by all of it, slightly, and want to put our heads either under the cover or become militant about it and take up a fight and go out for the cause. And I'm not saying that either one of those is wrong, because they are not. We have to do what our divine intelligence, what that innate wisdom is guiding us to do. Mm-hmm. But we know from a spiritual perspective, this is a place where here we have spiritual teachings. It's a spirituality. We have spiritual teachings that we use in our lives to help us really know that we truly are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that's what this is all about, that human experience. So from a spiritual perspective, these are the changes in the world, and we believe that we can make these changes, and they are not made outside of us. They are always and will always be made within. A major step towards human rights and equality for all human beings occurred not too long ago, with the Supreme Court legalizing same-sex marriages in all states. That was huge. Yep. That was huge. You wouldn't have thought that 10 years, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. This happened in the judicial system because it first happened in the consciousness of humankind, which first happened in the consciousness of individuals. Not everyone has made that shift fully, but enough of us have made that shift that 100th monkey theory has played out here. And I know that recently there's been a question about this theory, if it's actually true or not, and we don't really know, so it's kind of been debunked. But I'll tell you this, we can't argue with the idea of the tipping point. The tipping point, when a critical mass has been reached, and when that critical mass has been reached in consciousness, change occurs. That's how change occurs. That's the power of a changed consciousness. So if you think that you can't do anything of yourself, you are so sadly mistaken, because you are a powerful being beyond all measure. Your consciousness, your thought, your belief system changes everything. We reach a tipping point when enough people have the consciousness of the thing. In this case, the consciousness that all people, not just some people, deserve the right to be married. This was huge. And it is the consciousness that stood for this ideal that created a tipping point. Science of Mind founder Dr. Ernest Holmes talked about the tipping point in consciousness in what is now fondly known as the Sermon by the Sea. So it's a talk. I'm going to ask you to come up, Stephen. It's a talk he gave at a religious science conference in Asilomar. And he gave this talk about 6 months before he passed away. So many people think that this was really where he really stepped into the mystical part of life itself. Okay, in that sermon, not quite yet, Stephen. Still talking here, okay,
my
buddy?
cues mixed up.
We're almost there. He spoke, but in this sermon, though, he spoke of the tipping point. And as we bring our series on loving life to a close, I want us to hear it. I want us to really hear it. It was so beautiful that, and I didn't know this, that Rita was going to, she did start off our service with the Prayer for World Peace by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And now I'm going to close it with this Sermon by the Sea. I want you to really take in the words and just really feel where he was coming from. Our teachings, this is Ernest Holmes, our teachings are the most direct impartation of divine wisdom that has ever come to the world, because it incorporates the precepts of Jesus and Emerson and Buddha and all the rest of the wise ones. And I would hope that in our teaching there would never be any arrogance, for it always indicates spiritual immaturity to me. Others will arise who will know more than we do. They won't be better or worse, they will be different and know more than we do. Evolution is forward. We have discovered a pearl of great price. We have discovered the rarest gem that has ever found setting in the intellect of human race. Complete simplicity, complete directness, a freedom from fear and superstition about the unknown and about God. And as we have rediscovered that which the great, the good, and the wise have sung about and thought about, the imprisoned splendor within ourselves and within each other, and have direct contact with it, whether we call it the Christ in us, or the Buddha, or the Atman, or just the Son of God, the living Spirit, it makes no difference. You and I are witness to the divine fact that we have discovered an authority beyond our minds, even though our minds utilize it. We are a part of the evolution of human destiny. We are part of the unfoldment of the divine intelligence in human affairs. This unfoldment has reached the point of conscious and deliberate cooperation. with the principle of evolution and outpush of the creative urge of spirit, on this planet at least, to bring about innumerable centers which it may enjoy. And Holmes continues, man as we know him is incomplete, and those vague feelings and subtle senses of interior awareness which arise within him are gentle but persistent prophecies of still greater and greater achievements. It would be wonderful if a group of persons should arrive on earth who were for something and against nothing. This would be the summa bonum of human organization, wouldn't it? Find me one person who is for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of his soul. And I will find another Savior, another Jesus, another exalted human being. Find me one person who no longer has any fear of the universe or of God or of man or of anything else. And you will have brought to me someone in whose presence we may sit, and fear shall vanish as the clouds before the sunlight. Find me someone who has given all that he has to love without morbidity, and I will have found the lover of my soul. Why? Because he will have revealed to me the nature of God and proven to me the possibility of all human souls. Find me one person who can get his own littleness out of the way, and he shall reveal to me the immeasurable magnitude of the universe in which I live. Find me one person who knows how to talk to God, really. And I shall walk with him through the woods, and everything that seems inanimate will respond. The leaves of the trees will clap their hands, and the grass will grow soft under him. Find me one person who communes with cause and effect. And in the evening star will sing to him, and the darkness will turn to light. Through him, as the woman who touched the hem of the garment of Christ was healed, shall I be healed of all loneliness forever. Find me someone who is no longer sad, whose memory has been redeemed from morbidity, and I shall hear laughter. Find me someone whose song is really celestial, because it is the outburst of the cosmic urge to sing, and I shall hear the music of the spheres. Find me one person who has completely divorced himself from all arrogance, and you will have discovered for me an open pathway to the kingdom of God here and now. I'm talking about you, myself, when I say find a person. I don't mean go over to Rome or London or back to your own church. The search is not external. People all exist in us. They have different attributes, qualities of our own soul. They are different visions. But that we have multiple, it's not that we have multiple or dual personalities, but that every one of us on that inner side of life is, has been, and shall remain in external communion with the ineffable, where he may know that he is no longer with God, but one of God. If it were not for that which echoes eternally down the corridors of our own mind, some voice that ever sings in our own souls, some urge that continuously presses us forward, there would be no advance in science or religion or in the humanities or anything else. One cannot but feel the human point in such meetings as these, that it is entirely possible one might not be here next year. This is a complete indifference to me, because I believe in life. I believe, and I feel fine. Such an event is merely the climax of human events in anyone's life. And it is to be looked forward to, not with dread or fear or apprehension, but as the next adventure, and one that we should be very happy and glad to experience. You are religious science. I am not. I am only the one who puts something together, he writes. I do not even take myself seriously, but I take what I am doing seriously. You are religious science, our teachers, our practitioners, our laymen. You find me 1,000 people in the world who know what religious science is and use it and live it as it is, and I'll see myself live to see a brand new world, a new heaven, and a new earth here. And he finishes with, what I am saying is this. There is a law that backs up the vision, and that law is immutable. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. There is a power transcendent beyond our needs, our little wants. Demonstrating a dime is good if one needs it, or healing oneself of pain is certainly good if one has it. But beyond that, at the real feast, at the tabernacle of the Almighty, in the temple of the living God, in the banquet hall of heaven, there is something beyond anything that you and I have touched. Find 1,000 people who know that, who use it, and the world will no longer be famished. How important it is that each one of us, in our simple way, shall live from God to God, with God, in God, and to each other. That is why we are here. And we are taking back with us, I trust, a vision, an inspiration, something beyond hope and longing, that the living Spirit shall walk through us, walk anew with its own creation and new glory, and come with a new dawn. And Ernest Holmes died, passed away, transitioned, however you want to say it, into his next experience 6 months later. I think that he absolutely was on the tip of that critical mass. He knew. And his words are what we base our spiritual principles on. But he tells us he did not make them up, because we know that truth has always existed. It will exist forever, because truth is truth. It's all in this divine energy, this infinite spiral of divine energy. It's all God. It's all good. It's all whatever we want to call it, but it's eternal. We, each and every one of us, are individualized, beautiful gems. And I encourage us all to sparkle, to shine, to radiate our gifts to the world, to be who we are. Don't hold back. Time to play little has passed. Rise up now. And so it is.